Yeah, important 3 points for the group. I think the team has worked, and the staff have all worked very hard to get ourselves to this point where we now have 5 of 6 at home. I think they earned, the right to play in a game like tonight. Had a slow start to the game. I thought the first 15 minutes, I have to give credit to Cincinnati for their ability to come out and press us and really pick us up a lot higher than we anticipated. Made us uncomfortable. It sounds like I'm on TV in the other room. Yeah, and it was not our best. They made us turn the ball over in bad spots. Fortunately, Matt made a few saves. Carlos came in and made a few saves for us. And again, we raised our level, I thought, a great deal in the second half and looked more like us. Really proud of the group. Again, it's a group that's stuck together through injuries, through a lot of difficult times. And now sits in a good spot in the table. It's very early in the season. We're happy with where we are. We still have a lot we can work on and improve. But overall, again, the group is one that has really come together and one that I really love working with.
A sense yet of how Freese is and what happens if he can't go on Saturday?
Yeah, he's got taken to the hospital now for some scans. So that's usually never a good sign. I don't want to speculate, but he landed wrong on the hip pretty early in the game. To his credit, toughed it out as long as he could. Just something wasn't feeling quite right in there. So I hope everything is okay for Matthew. But obviously, Carlos stepped in and did a great job. Made some big saves all the way down to the 90th minute there to keep us in the game. And that's been kind of the story of our season. I think we've got 25, 26 players at least in the squad. And we haven't just used them. They've contributed big minutes for us. So, again, really happy with them. Proud of them. Proud of the staff and all the work that they've done. But we all still recognize there's a lot of work to still be done.
Being in first place at this point, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, listen, first place at this point of the season, no one really remembers who's in first place in what are we in May? So yeah, it's nice to be in a good spot in the table. I'm most focused on, and our team's most focused on taking care of all the games that we have at home. Tonight was a big first step in that. But you certainly don't celebrate being at the top of the table in May. The most important is that we position ourselves now, like you guys have heard me talk, to host our first playoff game and to win our first playoff game. We have to work hard to achieve that. And again, I think we have the squad and the talent in this group and the ability to do so. Obviously, we're injured a little bit right now, and we're picking up some crazy, unique situations, we'll call them, but every guy to a man has stepped up in a big way. It's a credit to the depth in the squad that Ernst and Chris have put together for us. We're getting better each week. And again, I've said that since the Toronto game in week 1 where we had a bad taste in our mouth, I think we've improved every week that we've played. And that's a good thing. And we have to try to maintain that and avoid the dips that often come in to MLS seasons. You really want to avoid not losing multiple games, and so far we've been able to piece together some good results.
Jim, has Casper now made it hard for you to take him out of the 11 the way he's played the last couple games?
He's been excellent. If you could argue who is the man of the match for us. Is it Jamiro? Is it Casper? 1A? Take your pick. I thought both of them were exceptional for us tonight. I thought Casper, his movement in the box, his ability to hold up the ball. You have Waston hanging on you, for the entire night. A really great center back in our league. Not an easy task to put 90 minutes back to back together again, because we had to burn subs in a unique way. Not the way we want to do it, but had to push him 90 minutes again. And he really held up. You can see his quality, how clean his layoffs are, his contact with balls in the box, and like we talked earlier in the week about it. He's not a guy who needs a ton of chances to score a goal. He buries the looks that he gets. So happy for Casper. I think it's been a long road back to full fitness for him. You can see his work rate and ability to still press in the 90th minute, and then doing what strikers need to do is score goals, and he's done a really good job of that for us too.
Fafa gets off the mark tonight with
Yeah.
his first goal of the season. He
Nice
becomes
goal.
the 9th player to score for the Union. How impressed are you with the way that the team has been able to spread out the goals?
Yeah, we're sharing the load right now for sure. I think that's what we're going to be this year. To be honest, we're going to need every guy to contribute 5, 6 here or there. Maybe some even midfielders chipping in with some goals. I think you talk about a group now that has a lot of talent and a lot of goals coming from a lot of different spots. And to be honest, still haven't got Marco Fabian going yet. Still haven't got Sergio Santos going yet. And it's almost like acquisitions in May that we're making. So these guys are coming back to full fitness. They're itching to go and contribute. But it almost feels like 2 new signings coming into the group after the injuries and suspensions and different things that have gone on. So a good problem to have, but I think it's clear that this group's gonna share the load. Hopefully someone runs away with it and scores 20 goals. That would be nice too. But it seems like it's going to be a by committee thing this year, and which is fine if we're getting that balance and we're playing good soccer, which we are right now.
With another game coming up pretty quick,
Yeah.
how much squad rotation can we expect for this Saturday's
Yeah,
game?
everyone loves that word. It'll be you'll see us use our depth again for sure. We need fresh legs. I always say the hardest part off of these Saturday, Wednesday is the turnaround, and then again do it on Saturday. So the third game of them is the most difficult. These guys can handle fitness-wise with the recovery that we do. Our sports performance staff does a great job. Massages, float tanks, whatever they need, they get. But now the hard one is to turn around at high intensity against an Eastern Conference team who unfortunately is resting this week. They do play again on Wednesday, but this is the way the schedule breaks out. Couldn't get the game moved to Sunday. We tried earlier in the year, but obviously for competitive reasons, New England wouldn't want to do that with them playing on Wednesday also. Yeah, we have a tough task. You'll see some new faces out there, I would imagine. We'll check. We have a wellness survey that the guys complete every morning. They have testing every morning, so we'll see where guys are. We'll have a true understanding of how much guys ran tonight, how much ground they covered, where their legs are at, and we'll assess it. We'll make the best choices to play New England, who is another Eastern Conference team that's dangerous. So we have to be on top of our game and take 3 points at home.
You substituted Aronson with Elsinho, and he proceeded to come in and assist on Fafa's goal.
Luck.
What did you see that led to that?
No, it's just at that point of the game, I think we had a lot of the momentum. We were debating, to be honest, and it was back and forth. Do we just let it go because we're kind of cruising right now? Brendan's starting to get more of the ball. There was a couple instances I thought in the first half, and then a few in the beginning of the second half where he was getting kind of muscled off the ball. Credit to Cincinnati, they put 5, 6 guys centrally and kind of didn't let him turn and find spaces. He got out of a few and started to get out of a few, but we decided that was the time to make the change. We got our goal as Elsinho was about to come in, so we sent him back, and then we readjusted and said, let's still go after this and be aggressive. Again, it's no disrespect to the outside backs in the league, but the last guy they want to see in that moment coming into a game fresh is Elsinho. So we made the change. It paid off this time, and it's good for great through ball by Elsinho. He makes the defense back up, and he plays a great little through ball, and Fafa still has a lot to do on the finish and handles it pretty nicely. So good to get Fafa off the mark. But yeah, good impact from Elsinho, and that's what we need. We need our subs to come into the game and make a big impact, and we have a special one in Elsinho, that's for sure.
Adam, go ahead.
Hey, Jim, can you talk a little bit about how the midfield was set up today? Vinny's and Harris back there, really strong defense with him at the base, but it looked like Jamiro coming inside quite a bit today.
Yeah, Miro naturally, his tendency is to come central with the ball or without the ball. He just likes being in the middle of the field. You won't see him on the sprint out to the sidelines like you'll see Ali do a lot of times. If Jamiro has to do it, he does it for sure. But he's comfortable right off of Harris's shoulder, and it leads him to, because he's so quick, the second a guy puts his head down, he can close 5, 6 yards and eat up ground, and he just gets a little toe on it, pokes it away. And he's tiny, so he catches guys off guard and almost sneaks up on them. They have their arms up. He's sometimes underneath their arms, and he's sliding around stealing balls and starting our transition. So the setup, you have, almost you could call it three central midfielders, with Brendan in front. But his tendencies are certainly to stay a little bit more narrow in close with Harris, and he did a good job tonight, I thought, of disrupting Cincinnati's rhythm. Never really let their center part of the midfield get going, and I thought that's where the game honestly is won. We'll talk about Casper's good goal, but at the same time, I still think our midfield, that diamond, when they're all clicking, is as good as anybody, and I like watching them play together offensively and defensively. But Miro's natural tendency is to stay central for sure.
Two more, Joe and then John. I know last time we talked yesterday, you weren't sure about Kai, how his suspension comes down. How frustrating is it to know, I guess, 9 days after the red card and 24 hours before the game to not happen?
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough thing, but it's a credit to the players again because they've made it easier just by other guys stepping up, playing out of position, and Bizo gave a great performance tonight as well. So again, I don't want to get in trouble. So the easiest way I can put it though is, with these decisions, I know they're tough decisions, but in the game that Kai had, which is 12 days ago now or 10 days ago now, it was a red card. I agree with the call. I agree that the VAR decision, I agree with the referees. And it took them, I believe, 28 seconds. We timed it, 28 seconds to determine that tackle was not a yellow card, it was a red card. And I agree completely with the decision. It shouldn't now take 12 days to decide whether he's suspended longer. And I think that's as fair and nice as I can say it. I'm not arguing with anybody, but if we can look at something and in 28 seconds say it is indeed a red card, then I think we can do it quicker than 10 to 12 days and let us know before the news dump at 6:30 the night before the game. So again, I know it's a hard job that they have, but yeah, the quicker the decisions, I think it would help us in preparation. Because again, I couldn't answer your guys' questions yesterday's about Kai, and then we found out a little later that the bad news. So again, I'm not trying to get fined, but I also think that there can be a quicker, cleaner process on this.
Last one, go ahead, John.
I know you said that first place May 1st doesn't matter all that much, but how good is this team?
I'd say that's to be determined still. I really would. I love this group. I think that they've shown their potential. I think they've shown that they can play with any team. I think I've said that already. But I still think it's to be determined. There's still too much of the season left to make predictions and tell you exactly what I think of the group. It's usually after 10 games you have a pretty good feel, I think, for what you got. And we certainly have a team that's going to be in every game the rest of the way. So where that puts you, with the margins being so small in this league, even in the Eastern Conference right now, you can see how tight it is. We're one of the good ones. I can tell you that with confidence now that after 10, what are we at? 9 games, 10 games, 10 games. We are solid. We're a good team for sure. We're one of the good teams in this league. How far we go is still a work in progress for sure.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Locker room.